Welcome back to Brutifully Made. I'm so excited to be with you again this week. Let's see what our doodle is going to be today. Let's see if it's going to be something fun. What I draw says it is a bug with their childhood imaginary friend. Okay, so let's see what I can come up with. A bug. Right. So today I want to talk a little bit about being a self promoter, marketing your work, marketing yourself. And this can be really applicable to anyone starting their own journey. You know, we are our biggest cheerleaders. We have to be our biggest cheerleaders. We know what we want and we know what we want to promote and we know what it's going to take to get to our dreams. So, part of being successful in achieving those dreams is getting the word out about everything that you want to do. And unless you have a marketing company or an agent or somebody that's sharing your work with the world, you have to do it yourself. And so I know that's where I am at in my process. And I've been in that process for decades. It has never changed. I don't have an agent. I am my own marketing company. I am a one-woman show. So I really find a lot of value in that because I can do things the way that I want to. I would love to have representation to take some of that connection and I guess responsibility off my shoulders so I can concentrate on creating. I think that's the biggest reason I would like to have help in that area is because it's a lot of work. Marketing yourself is a ton of work. And sometimes it feels daunting. Other times it feels like a huge stress. Then other days I find it a lot of fun. I love creating this, for example. This is one form of marketing yourself and getting the word out of what you love to do, what you want to do. And then it also opens this whole community of sharing ideas up. So I think that as a creative person, trying to pursue anything that you want to do, as a small business person pursuing anything that you want to do, trying to get the word out about what that is, that's really, really important. So I want to talk about some different ways that we can do that. And I have most experience on a local level. So I have one national license. It's with a puzzle company. And I really answered a call for art. And that's how I was able to do that. So that is one of the things as a creative person that you can do is watching for opportunities to get support. And that could be in the form of a art challenge. It could be in the form of local or national opportunities to get funding, like grants and calls for support. I know a lot of financial companies, they'll hold small business competitions to pitch your idea and your business to them, and then they will give you seed money. So, getting the word out about what you do sometimes will get you some national recognition. It can be picked up by media and news. And of course, the old standard, let's go viral. So, that is one way that you can get the word out about what you do and really stand out a little bit with what you're interested in doing. So, looking for those challenges, and you can still search by hashtags. I know there's lots of ebb and flow discussion about do hashtags still work? Do they need to be placed on all of your social media platforms when you make posts? Some of them don't even support them, like threads. But you can still look for those to find something relevant to what you're doing. And so I think a lot also depends on your unique style, like what it is that makes you different or stand out. And as an artist, man, is that really like the defining thing that we're all searching for is, do I draw a certain way? Do I create a certain way? Do my characters look a certain way? Does my art have a certain look or feel or medium that I use that nobody else does? And of course, I don't think we're going to be 100% totally unique because there's always going to be there's always going to be inspiration derived from somebody. I know that I'm taking a class right now that's teaching a very loose painting style. And there are hundreds of people in this class. And the instructor, she is allowing people to, sell their paintings that they are, based on the tutorials of the class. And there's a ton of conversation around, is this right? Is the market getting flooded with lookalikes because everybody has the same one because we're all taking the same class? I'm also experiencing that in other classes that I've taken because everyone's getting the same brief and everybody is creating, something along the same lines of a storyline or a book or a home decor, layout. And it's just your version of it. And it's okay that there's 100, circus themed products going out there because all these creative people are taking a class. It's okay that there's those themes that are still out there, but it comes down to your approach and the way you look at it. And I think I talked about this a couple episodes ago about local like coffee shops and local restaurants and local boutiques. And there's eight locations and they all sell similar things. But your atmosphere may be different and the way that you treat your customers are a little bit different and your hours are a little bit different. Maybe you have an online presence that somebody else doesn't have. Maybe you offer a really cool, a gift with purchase that somebody else doesn't do. You may go live 2 and 3 times a week and share insight to your processes that another person isn't doing. You collaborate differently. You support different, community events differently. There's always something that you can do that somebody else isn't doing or that you get inspired. Like, I didn't think to approach it that way. And those are the things that define your style. And I think that is what is important. So it doesn't matter as an artist if I'm creating characters for a book that 50 other people are doing the same thing. My drawing and my approach is going to be ironically completely different than the other 49 people. And it's amazing to see how someone interprets the same thing. And I think that you can't get stuck on, you have this one style and that you can't, deviate from that and that you can't evolve. Don't get stuck in that. Don't be afraid to explore. That's the biggest thing about finding your style. It's okay to change it up and it's okay to do something different. It's okay to put that imagery or that concentration onto a new product or new collaboration. Please keep an open mind about how you will grow as a business owner, as a creative person, as an artist. Don't get so stuck in that you feel like you don't have a style and that you are changing your style, and just sit down and write out a business plan and start. Sit down, start sketching, drawing. It doesn't matter that it may look a little different than something you've done before or that somebody else is doing. Just really trust your instincts. Really just think about what makes you happy and do that, because that's going to be your true style, is what makes you happy. And then you're not comparing yourself to everybody else. Don't do that. Stop doing that. I know when I start to draw, I try not to look at what everybody else is doing. Hi, Nala, for a brief or something, because I don't want to be totally influenced and then feel like I am missing out on including something somebody else is doing. There's that FOMO, that fear of missing out. It's not just the fear of missing out, but it's always like I'm not at that same level, or I don't do it that way, or I didn't, include this and I should have. It goes so many different ways than just that you're missing out on an event or doing something that somebody else is doing. It's also comparison. So just try to not compare your style to somebody else's. Just concentrate on what you love to do and throw in different ideas and collaboration ideas and mediums, or different ways to grow your style and what you do. It's really important, I think, also to take advantage of social media in a way that fits your budget. There's so many platforms and they all really start off as free. So there's different ways that people absorb social media, and you can be on every platform that there is, or you can pick and choose depending on what you're comfortable doing, the level of experience that you have. I always think of Facebook as almost like the yellow pages. I definitely want to make sure that I have a page there, because that can link my contact information, the website, and I can put different announcements on there and really use that as free as possible. I rarely do any kind of advertising on Facebook. So that one I use just because I want the listing, and it's also searched for search engine optimization. So it's just a very basic search, for a business. And so that's definitely like my number one suggestion is, if you're going to be in social media, at least have your business on Facebook and have all that contact information and all your website information and the about information, all of that filled out. So to me, and snag your name, snag your, company name, make sure it's unique, because you can customize that. Again, totally free. So that's my biggest suggestion, is having that platform, secured with your business. Other social medias, for me, I love Instagram. I can remember I've never been an iPhone user. My kids were all iPhone users. So Instagram was originally just for iPhone. So I was a late adopter because I waited until Android had the platform. So I remember making collages of my boss's daughter's artwork, her photography, into posters for them, because she was on Instagram and they were so good. And she was a teenager and she was taking these beautiful photographs and he loved them. And so when I was making posters for him with her artwork for her to give out for like Christmas gifts. And so I appreciated the platform. I didn't, use it because I wasn't on an iPhone. So when Android finally got the platform, that's when I got it. And I love it as a visual artist, as creative person. It's crazy how it's moved from photography and pictures and imagery to more, reels. Of course, that's because of TikTok, and videos, seem to rule. Algorithms are huge on social media. So that is also a reason, because people like to watch the quick videos with sounds and think it's funny and it's engaging. So Instagram is fun. I love doing the reels. I use a lot of templates on there, and that one is a really good one for even small business. Again, you don't have to do any advertising on there. You can just choose to build an audience and use the free platforms. And it's really fun to create like short little snippet videos. People love everything. They love watching you, open your store for the day. They love watching you make a cup of coffee. Add some fun music to it, use some stickers, put some word overlays, and just, give them something to see a couple times a week. And it's fun. People just love engaging and supporting you in there. Of course, TikTok, there's a lot of controversy back and forth. Is it safe? what do you do? How do you build a platform and an audience there? Again, that is totally videos, slideshows of pictures. There's a lot that is available on there. I have put because they offer coupons for advertising to add $10 to get, people to see what you're posting about is pretty cool. And it does a lot. So if you have some advertising dollars to toss towards social media, TikTok to me seems like that's a great way to build a little bit of an audience because they do offer discounts for advertising. So that would be a good one. LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn. I have been on LinkedIn forever and I have seen such huge changes in LinkedIn, especially as a business. There are a lot of things that are available to network on with companies and corporations that are looking for artists. And so I try to follow to see if they're posting and sharing information about what they're looking for and art directors and just it's really grown and changed over the years. So I really do like LinkedIn for the networking aspect and supporting other artists and businesses and companies on there. So I think that one is a really good social media platform. Pinterest is phenomenal. I love Pinterest. I've been on Pinterest forever and I've never changed it from my serendipitous. That's my handle on there. And I've got projects on there from years ago that have like triple digit thousands of views and followers. And it's just so much fun to make boards for inspiration and just keep your ideas on track. And they've got some great tutorials and they have events on like what they're doing. It's a great platform. So Pinterest is another one of my favorites, especially for business and for creatives. I mean, there's just so much you can do for vision boarding and planning on Pinterest that is pretty remarkable. So I think that people don't realize how much Pinterest can help you really keep your thoughts in order and just ways. And you can create a lot of private boards. You don't have to have them public. So make them secured and keep your ideas in check. So, you can go back and look at what do I need to do. I remember when we were buying our house, for example, this was 8 years ago. I had pinned everything that I wanted to do on it, and my husband just laughs because he goes back through that board and he was like, "This is exactly what you had pinned like 10 years ago." And I know it was a vision board and it still is. So it's phenomenal for that. I love Pinterest for that. And let's see, Twitter, I call it Twix. It's Twitter and X now. So Twix is so for me. I'll post a couple things on it once in a while, but yeah, it's really changed a lot. I can remember being on Twitter when it first was on and following like Ashton Kutcher when he hit 1 million followers. I was up in the middle of the night waiting for him to hit 1 million. I mean, that was so much fun, but now it's just totally different. And I mean, I'm on it, but I don't really use it as much. Yeah, Nala agrees. It's not that great. Sorry, Twitter users, Twix users. There's a lot going on there. I did join Threads. I did not merge my total Instagram audience though. I'm really frustrated with Instagram on this aspect because I started my creative and Instagram and just followed so many artists, and you're only allowed to follow like 7,500 people. And I know that's a lot. And I just overdid it. And I have like 7,470. And I tried to go in and delete like things that I don't follow really anymore or things that don't really pertain to the art and creative side of my Instagram. And I'll go and like follow them on my personal one. And I cannot delete enough. I mean, it's so frustrating. I can't like reorganize them. And I didn't want to have that whole list over on Threads. So I kind of started from scratch on Threads, but it's interesting. I'm still, playing around with that one, but I am on it. So that's really here or there for me. So definitely something you could look into just to network and communicate on. but really the other ones that I mentioned are more of my favorites and what I like to be on just to get awareness out. So, social media, definitely use it to your advantage. You can choose to throw money at it if you like. I have so much experience in search engine optimization with Google Analytics and stuff too. Um, but I really don't invest in that for my creative business. Um, just because I choose to use my funds differently, and I'll talk about that. Hey, thanks for listening today. I love talking about marketing one another. And really, if you're interested in collaborating with me, I would love to do that. So just reach out, email me, tracy@tracydonbrewer.com, and let's talk about how we can collaborate and share the work that we're doing. I would love it because you're beautifully made. So another thing that I think is really important is networking. And that can come in so many different forms. I mean, you can join local organizations like your chambers or networking companies and organizations that have sprouted up. Um, you know, there's different ones that are local, nationwide, and you choose what fits your business best. And if you do choose to be part of them, participation is really important. I mean, they're usually relying on volunteers from the people that are part of the organization to make it viable for others. So it's really important to, be present and be part of those events that they have. And even if they're online, I think that that's huge. I really have a lot of online networking platforms that I'm on, just from the classes that I'm taking, things that I follow on Patreon, things that I have done for years. And I think that's huge. I love that. I went to my first art, creative business, I guess, convention this year. I went to Art Biz Jam, and I found out about that and Patreon group that I'm a part of. And it was their ninth year, and I'd never heard of it before. So you find out about things through networking that you may not have been aware of. So I think that it's really important to be part of some kind of community like that. Online business, and you have a website. There's a lot that you can do with either selling your items on your website. I know there's lots of online marketplaces, eBay and Etsy and different platforms that you can sell on, like Redbubble. I know Society6 just had this big shift with, paying to be on there and such. So there's some that are still, I want to say, free, and then they'll take percentages of what you do. And then there's others that you pay to list your items, or you pay a percentage. I've done so many different routes. I've been on all of them. I kind of got away from promoting and placing things on those, and really have concentrated on working on my own store. So I have my website and I have my online store, and that has worked really well for me in the last 18 months. So I think that you need to figure out what works best with you, with like costs, finances, fees, controlling what you do, partnering with, if you're going to do your own stuff, like print on demand companies. So there's a lot of research to be done on what you're offering, what you do. If you have a restaurant, or if you have a store and you want to offer products online and you want to have things shipped, what works best for you to be notified when somebody buys something, and that if you have product locally that you have to ship, so to put it in the mail and how to pay for shipping and packaging, all of that. So it really depends on like what you have and what you're doing. A lot of my stuff, I have drop shipping, so it's all automated. So they pick the artwork that they like and the product that it's on, they order it, it goes straight to my manufacturer. The manufacturer packages it. The shipping is done by them. All of the packaging and invoicing has my logo, and everything has been set up through those print on demand. So it's very automated, because I, one, really don't have the funds to invest in hundreds of inventory and have it not sell. So it helps me to offer things that people want, and then it's just made on demand. And it seemed to work best for me to do it that way. I do have some local organizations and stores that sell my product, and so I buy it in bulk and offer it that way too. So most of the manufacturers I work with allow me to do both. They'll do the drop shipping, but then I can order it in bulk and then offer a little bit different price point to the local organizations. So that's something to think about too. If you're, making and doing something, again, once all that's there, you got to market it. So you go back to your social media platforms and you share, you have this new product, you have this new information now, you have these new hours or whatever. So again, you're really, marketing yourself. And that's another thing, is that I want to talk about newsletters. I think it's really important to not rely 100% on social media, because you never know. You may end up being on a Twix and it changes and you lose your audience, or audience changes. So owning the people that have eyes on what you're doing is so important, in respecting their email or their contact information and not selling it or collecting it or doing, spamming and things like that. It is really, really important to respect that. So I have an email newsletter. I started it 3 years ago. I started with 9 people, and I'm now in triple digits, and I appreciate every one of them. And so one of the things that I do that marketing wise to help advertise is that I offer a giveaway every month to all the people that subscribe on my newsletter. So once you subscribe, I put all the names for that month into a random name picker. It draws a name. And then I have either something from my store that is the prize, or another thing to do to build up marketing is to collaborate with other people. So I've collaborated with so many other artists and small businesses to offer something that they do, and I highlight them in the newsletter. And then I have also done video podcasts and talked about what they do and shared their stories. And I love that so much. So side note, if you are someone that would love to collaborate with me on my monthly newsletter, I don't expect the people that are collaborating with me to give me the product. I buy it. So up to a $50 value, $50 to me would be something I would be putting towards a TikTok ad or Google analytics for keyword searches. I would much rather take that and celebrate another artist or small business and talk about your story, share your product with the people that I see and that they see me on social media. I do that all month for the people I collaborate with. So I love doing that. And then another way I've collaborated with people, I have my daughter's girlfriend, Wesley. She is a money coach. And so she writes an article every month, and I have that information in my newsletter. So people that want to collaborate and contribute, and I pay her every month for her creativity. So that's another way that you can collaborate, is that you put together a newsletter and reach out to people that you could partner with and highlight them or bring them into helping build your newsletter. And I love it. I think it's a phenomenal way. I send out once a month to build an audience. And then, they only get one a month. It's not like I'm bombarding them with everything that I'm doing. I just put a review of, this is what I'm doing this month, and this is what I've been creating this month, and this is where I'm at coming up next month. This is the winner of the newsletter giveaway this month, and next month this is the gift. And it's been great. And so really consider creating a newsletter, no matter what kind of business you're doing, to build your audience and let them know what's going on. I also give a freebie away every month. So something they can download that I make or create. And a lot of people use them as their backdrops for their computer or their phone, or it's a puzzle, like a coloring page. I've done all kinds of stuff. So I always make sure that there's something free in there. And it's just a lot of fun. It takes a little legwork to create it every month. I use MailChimp. Um, I'm not at the paid level. So once you get over a certain amount of viewers or recipients, you have to pay, but it's not a big fee. So it's worth it. But I do like MailChimp because there are a lot of templates that you can set up and create newsletters that way. So that's a huge suggestion of mine is to market yourself through that. And really, creating your brand, your brand is not just your logo and you're not your brand. So just keep that in mind, your company name and your information. If you have colors, my style, my brand, I'm very energetic. I'm very colorful, really positive. Those things come across. That's part of me, just innately. I remember going to interview about my artwork for a community project, and it was the brightest, most colorful one that they had, they said. And then I walked in and they're like, and you dress just like your art. I laughed. I'm like, I know I do. That's just me. I think that how you are comes across as your brand, but you're not your brand. I mean, it's a weird thing. It is part of you, but it isn't you. So there's ways that it can come across in everything that you do. From, my business cards are a lot of fun. They have augmented reality and sound and they move. And but if you don't use the app, they're still textured and they're, my artwork. My logo is very whimsical and bright. Um, and I think you kind of get the feeling when you talk to me, I'm the same way. I'm very positive and energetic. And I love that people feel that when they meet me and talk to me and they see that comes through in everything that I do. So that's your brand. And that's something that you can continue. And it's the voice that's coming across in your newsletters and in your posts. And if you're talking to somebody, and I think that all of that defines you and your brand. So play with that and make it work and be authentic. Don't force something. There's a lot of things that, oh, this is what this person's like. And then you meet them and get to know them. And you're like, no, that isn't. They're just playing a part. They're playing their brand. That's not really what they're like. So I think it's really important to be authentic and be real. So I think that also comes across in your content creation. So, making things that go along with what you really want to do. What is your true passion? And, what is your real interest? And I see that happening with a lot of small businesses, that you can really tell this is part of their heart and that's who they are, and they're supporting their community and it's authentic. And I think that that's really important. So, I mean, I could go out and make a whole bunch of different crazy videos that I know would get probably like lots of likes because they're off the wall. But that's, unless it's a really cool piece of painting that I'm doing. And if it's not really me, it's not going to really mean anything. Why would I want to keep that up? So I think that it's important to be as authentic as you can and be relatable, and people will gravitate towards that and support you. So I know a lot of people are really fearful about, their price points and how they, want their work to sustain their livelihood and their life. And all of that really comes with experience. A couple of the places that I am taking classes in now, they're like, $1 a square inch, that's what you should charge for your paintings, or $1.50 a square inch. And it was like, I've never heard those numbers before, those figures. And sometimes mine's based on, man, I got this canvas for like dirt cheap. This was a huge sale and I can pass that savings along to a customer. So, being relatable in your area and what you can, offer and the price points that you can get, that's going to ebb and flow, and it's going to be a learning curve with that. So, marketing your work and making it something that everyone can afford may not be where you're at. Maybe it is. Maybe everything that you make's $5. I don't know. So, it's really got to take into consideration the time and the effort and the market and of course the competition to see what everybody else is offering, but try to be as realistic as you can. And don't hold on to things because it didn't sell for $500. I mean, I will tell you that just it's going to be really, really hard. So, be willing to adjust and, work your way up to better pricing and more pricing if that's what you really need to get. And, you may need to change the quality of the materials that you use and the quantity of, maybe sizes and different, shapes. Or I like to make big canvases because they're going to be more expensive for me to sell or to, market. But then I can take that image off that canvas and I can, support some digital work with it and sell that on products. And then it'll make up for the fact that maybe I couldn't get $10,000 for something. So, really think about how you can take your work and use it different ways if you can't get what you're wanting for the unique original piece. Always think outside of, okay, I've made this one thing and then I need to kind of make up for the fact that I can't get what it really took or what it really cost me. Think about different ways. Maybe it's a really cool sculpture piece and it would turn into a fun sticker. So, you could take a really nice photograph outside in natural light of it and then make a sticker and put some inspirational words around it. Just try to layer the thought of, this is really worth $500 because of the materials and the paint that I used and the time that it took. I'm not going to get that here, but if I sold it for 200 and then I sold 200 stickers for $5 a piece or $2 a piece, I'll make more money. So try to think of different ways to approach pricing and then what you can offer. And really, one of the last things I want to talk about is just being respectful of people and their opinion and customers and vice versa. I mean, it's really hard to start a business and expect to not receive any kind of negativity or bad feedback or a product goes wrong. We've all been there. We've all done it. I've had shirts that have, been botched and I didn't realize it. I've had things break or, fall apart at a show. I've messed up while working at a live event. I mean, we're human and you have to give yourself grace. And you're going to hear negative things from customers. They don't like how something, looks or the color, or that wasn't what they were expecting. And you have to kind of roll with it. And if you can fix it to what they want, do that. And, try not to take it so personally and try to make it like a lesson learned and see how you can pivot from that and change and make things better. Not everybody is going to understand what you're doing, and just, educate them and give them some grace. And everyone's going to have an opinion because they're like, oh, I love this, but you should do this, or you should have done it this way, or I can't, see this because this, and this is happening. Just take your time and make some changes and edits the best that you can. Just do the best that you can. Don't hate the world because not everyone supports you, because that's just not going to happen. Don't let it ruin your dreams and your vision, and just don't let it discourage you. That's mainly what you have to understand, is that that's just life. I mean, not everybody's going to like everything that you do. Marketing's going to take time. Building your audience is going to take time. Being persistent and patient is the biggest thing that you can do. And just being authentic, being yourself. Your expectations can be huge. They're going to be so high. You're going to want to do everything at once. You're going to want to have the results all at once. It's not going to happen. And it's okay. It's totally okay. And if you need specific guidance, look towards someone that you admire, what they're doing, and ask if they'll teach you. I mean, I'm open to teaching all the things that I know anytime, because I've built my own websites. I've built my own newsletters. I've helped people build websites and newsletters. I still do that. That's part of my marketing experience. And that's something of value that you can bring to the table, but it's also something that you can offer or ask for if you know that they offer that. So don't be afraid to ask. Like, if you admire someone's business, you're like, man, could I pay you to and just mentor me for a few sessions, don't be afraid to ask that. I'm sure they would be like totally like, what? Flattered. And that would be something they didn't even think that they would like could share. I know when I went to Art Biz Jam, I assumed everybody knew what I knew. And so I'm sharing things that I'm doing, and people are like writing stuff down furiously. And I'm like, I thought everybody knew this, or you should, talk to so and so because they have this or that. And I just assumed everybody in this world that I was in knew everything that I knew, and that wasn't the case. So, it's great way again to network and collaborate and to share, and never stop doing that. I'm going to always tell you that. Never stop learning. I know I'm never going to stop learning and sharing. But I hope these ideas for marketing your business and getting kind of like a game plan down, use Pinterest, start a vision board. This is what I want my newsletter to look like. Find newsletters, sign up for different newsletters. It's not going to hurt you to get them in your email box. Look at them for 5 seconds, see what somebody's doing. I mean, they don't have to be huge books, and supporting somebody creatively with a newsletter follow is awesome. And you can always sign up for mine if you're not. If you go to my website, tracydonbrewer.com, it's also brutifully.com. I have a redirect on mine. So if you type in Brutifully, it takes you right to my site, but it's my name. And you click on newsletters. All of my newsletters are on there. I always archive them and put them there so you can read the back issues, but the sign up form is right there. So make it easy for people to sign up for your newsletter. And what's cool is that MailChimp helps you do that. They give you a little form. It's all automated. And it's all automated. So that's very helpful. But yeah, I'm available to help. I'm more than happy to do that. So I'm anxious to see and hear from anyone that actually has newsletters and creative ways to market. Drop me a message. I would love to follow along. I'd love to find your newsletter and get that every month, week. Some people are, man, they're just putting a newsletter out every week. That's amazing. I can only do one a month. But yeah, this is weekly, so that's the big thing for me. But yeah, just let me know. I'd love to know. And if anybody wants to collaborate in mine, I think that would be phenomenal. So everything you're doing is beautifully made, and I'm very proud of you and want to support you in any way that I can. So thanks for listening, and I will talk to you next time. Take care. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday. Bye.